So on the topic of the rules for Yokohama, what kind of expansion and what kind of adaptation did you have to do?
And I don't know if this is out of the scope of what you're looking for here, but it's less graphic design and more rewriting the rules. The original version had the English rulebook. So we didn't have to do any translating, which is good because I don't speak any Japanese. So I tried to bring some of my stylistic things to the rulebook. For one thing, there was a little section in the rulebook that said general rules, and it was like a couple of things that are like always true. Like, for example, you can't have two of the same technology. But that was not repeated in the technology section. So people playing the game, when they go to buy a technology and someone says, hey, can I have two of the same technology? Real quick, you look it up, you look under technology, it doesn't say anything about it. You're like, all right, I guess I can. It doesn't say I can't. And even if it were in a, don't forget, and then also repeated in the other place, that'd be okay with me. So there are a couple of instances of that kind of thing. Other stuff was just sort of clarity and consistency. So in some cases, I basically rewrote a section as if I were saying it, how I would teach it, basically. Just especially where people were getting caught up or misunderstanding. And then the one section I really kind of rewrote, and it kind of took a few iterations and some crowdsourced editing for whether it made sense, was the main section of how you take your turn, how you move your president on your turn. There were some people that were getting hung up on it and not understanding it, and so I kind of took a stab at rewriting it, and we put it out there for when it was on Kickstarter for crowdsourcing opinions on it. So I think what we ended up with was hopefully a much easier to understand rulebook. I feel like when you're translating a rulebook, or when somebody translates a rulebook, it's really difficult to get it as clear as if somebody had written it from scratch. So basically I just tried to take it one more step. I translated from translated English to what I would have said in the first place, I guess. One of the main things there is second person. I've really taken to writing rulebooks in second person. I feel like most of the time that can make things a lot clearer. I don't say, the player does this on their turn. Instead, I say, on your turn, do this. I think it's good to make it sound like I'm talking to you or somebody's talking to you.
And as for the layout, once the writing and editing was all done and crowdsourced and that was solid, what kind of feedback did you get on diagrams or examples of play?
It's not always convenient or possible to spread out these long, narrow boards all over the place on your table, because not all tables have space for that. And number two, even if you did that, sometimes the port board, for example, which corresponds to the port management board, okay, I'm on this board, which means I take cards from this management board over here. Oh, wait, no, it's this one over here. It's not so bad. It's just kind of more work than I thought it ought to be. So to kind of help with that, first of all the management boards are just in a row, we're all in the same place every time. And so no matter what order these come out in, you'll always know where to look for your church board, for example. But I think we mostly kept the diagrams that were there, so we didn't have to do too much there. The score track for Yokohama is a sort of a snaking thing where it's like 1 through 10, and then 11 through 20. So if you get 10 points, you can just go up it. And also, you don't have to worry about whether you're going the right way. Looking through the rulebook, I do note one more thing that we added is somebody made a two-player sort of variant. I think it was Richard Ratto suggested some two-player tweaks, and after playing with them, the TMG team liked them. So we actually incorporated some graphics on the boards to remind you, like, what you do is you put like a neutral assistant like on the customs board and stuff. And so that's marked on there, so you don't have to look it up or remember. But yeah, anyway, when making a rulebook from scratch, I highly recommend diagrams whenever you have something you need to show.
Hello, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to download more stuff and more content, you can find it over in the Patreon at the link below. Thanks very much. Bye.